Well, welcome to episode 146 on Awanui NZ, and a big shout out to Barry and Jane Richards from Lymington back home in New Zealand. Great little town, Lymington, on State Highway 1 between Wellington and Auckland. Hi guys. Right, good morning. It is Monday, 23rd of June. Cool day today. We are going to see Mr. Garmin again and hopefully get the shadow drive fixed. New unit's going to go in, and once that's done, I mean, man, the last few days, Autopilot has been fantastic. It is absolutely different. So that reset was brilliant. And Mr. John Deere is coming. We're going to get the new belt on the starboard engine, so that's out of the way. We're going to get the new bracket on the port engine for the alternator, if you remember that. So that'll be done. And there's a broken bracket. It was put on the engine under a bit of tension and it's cracked and broken. They're going to replace that. So that's the engine done, the Autopilot done, the fridge done. And that's really all our major items, other than just small warranty stuff that needs to be sorted out over time. So pretty windy last night. I'll show you here. We got about 32 knots at one stage. We're back in Newton Creek. It's great, got pretty shallow. May even have slightly touched the bottom during the night, but if we did, it was barely noticeable. We're just coming out of low tide now, so the flood is happening, and we're going to head off and go over to Lymington. Here we are at Newton Creek. Zoom out. It's 5 and a bit miles. We're going to have a bit of current coming through here, so a slight headwind if you want to call it that. Cross over into Lymington, and they're not answering their phone, so possibly we're just going to have to get on the radio when we get there and ask them if we can go on a visit up here for a while. Anyway, we'll get underway. Nice day out there, but still pretty windy, up around 15, 18 knots. Let's do it. Alright, we've got Mr. Garmin here again today, and we are doing the shadow drive. We're putting a new unit in. There is a possibility that the high pro steering and the shadow drive are not compatible on this boat, so we're going to give it this one last go. If they're not, we will deselect shadow drive and just carry on. But that's about all we can do. Isn't that right, Mr. Garman?
Yep.
Never mind. But a bit cooler this week, so it's good, eh? Not so hot. Anyway, we're going to bleed the system once we get it in, and we probably don't even need a sea trial, do we?
We might give it another one just as a backup.
All right, cool. What are we doing, Winston?
Just measuring the distance, the depth of the water, so that we can calibrate the sonar.
You reckon you're in the mud?
No, I haven't felt anything yet. Though it might have folded on me, I think. I suspect we might have to go back to. Yeah, no, it's a bit difficult.
Okay, so we can't do it with the tape measure. That's a shame. So now we go back to the old way, eh? I'll bring it out to you.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. So this is a very technical.
Heath Robinson, I think they call it.
Heath Robinson?
Heath Robinson.
So we're tying a line on with these weights on the end. And then, so this has nothing to do with fishing, people.
Fishing for a depth.
Right, we lower the weights until he feels it touch the bottom. Does it feel like you got a bite, Winston?
Yeah. Mud. I'm fishing for mud.
This will be the time you get a bite from some big ass bass, and then it'll just take off with you. So this is plus or minus what? 5 millimetres? 5 millimetres?
Yeah. Well, no, not 5 millimetres.
Oh, okay.
10 centimetres, 100 millimetres.
Oh, we're going to do it. Okay, plus or minus 100.
Mark, see, that's quite positive there. See?
Yep, gotcha.
So now we do is we just pull it in without reeling it in.
Well, here, I'll just walk away with the rod.
Yep. Just don't catch my hand, or it won't be very heavy about
No, I can imagine that.
Maybe if you go the other way.
You want me to go the other way?
Because then you get to measure.
I
think it's about 5 metres, actually.
Do you?
I believe, yeah.
4750.
4750. Right, now we're just.
Okay,
I'll go around the other side, and we'll do the other side.
Take that. I'll go and write that down.
4750. Yep.
Leave it out that distance, because I reckon it'll be bloody near the same, mate.
Well, it should be. Yeah, it'll be within 10.
Right, so I'll write 4750 down, and then we're going to reveal.
About the wheelhouse.
Yeah. Right, so what we're actually trying to do here is calibrate the sonar. Because at the moment you see the sonar is reading 3.8. So it might not be too far off actually, given the position on the keel. And then we want to try and alter this so that we actually get a true reading of our keel off the bottom of sea floor depth. That's what we're doing. Okay. So there we are. Bow of the boat is sitting at, looks to be from here, I would put that at 300 mil, probably 250 mil. The water line is out of the water, and if we come to the back of the boat, the water line is smack on. So it's about a 250 mil tail heavy at the moment, over 51 feet. So I'll just talk to the factory about that too, because if you remember, outside the port door from the pilot house there's a drain there, and basically it drains to the back, not the front, and I think the difference is that the boat is sitting slightly tail down from what they expected it to be. So it may mean it actually needs some ballast in the front of the boat, but again, for future builds, I think that's really important information, unless of course it's designed to sit tail low, which I doubt. Anyway, we'll follow up on that. So we measured both sides of the boat, both sides 4750 from the water line to the sea floor. Now we need to do the maths and work out how we're going to set the sonar up. It's always something to do on Awanui NZ, that's for sure. Lymington, you saw the footage going up there and coming back. I mean, it's beautiful. So that looks pretty cool. But we got moved down here basically because they're only allowed 12 metre boats up the other end. And we are 15 metres, of course. There we go, look at that. Won't be long, off for a quick sea trial on the shadow drive, and then John Deere will arrive. Timing should be perfect. Right, there's the shadow drive. Is that the new one or that's the old one, is it?
That's the new one, the old one's there.
Ah, there's the old one. Old one's there. Old one number 2, new one number 3. Alright, we're just going on a sea trial then to check out this shadow drive thing. I think our Garmin man is 100% confident, but anyway. Right, so let's just go through this very quickly before we go back in. Seems to be working really well. We are in standby. And if we want to engage the autopilot, we go engage. We're now in heading hold. We're holding a constant heading. We see something in front of us, so we decide to turn. It goes into shadow drive, rudder comes in, it'll stay in shadow drive until we take the rudder out.
Collision alert. Ahead.
And there it goes, heading hold again. So that works perfectly. If it's follow route, it comes out into heading hold and asks you if you'd like to re-engage the route. So that is working perfectly. Well done, Garmin. Woohoo, Garmin. Okay, so the next project is both the grey water, this is the grey water, and then there's a black water tank, which is very similar, have the Domtech sensors on them for water level, and the automatic system relies on the sensors being nice and clean. So one of the periodic maintenance items is to take the sensors out and give them a clean, and here are the 3 sensors in the top, and the easiest way to do it is unscrew this white unit that's got all 3 sensors on it, lift it out, then you can clean it and put it back, and then you'll get accurate readings. So anyway, Winston's found a couple of issues with it. Go ahead, Winston.
Oh, well, simply the fact that as you're unscrewing it, you're going to
twist the wires,
which you don't load up the wires. So we didn't really want to disconnect it because for obvious reasons, but we might have to.
Okay.
And the other thing is it's really tight, so we'll have to.
Okay, so we can always tap it, maybe. You know,
tap it around. Yeah.
All right. So the first thing is, well done to the factory. They've labelled both sides. So in Turkish and in English. So we'll disconnect those and then we can unscrew it. Right, there we are. We've disconnected the sensors from the connectors back to the pilot house indicators. Okay, so here's a really interesting thing about living aboard a boat. Look at that. I mean, that is incredible. So it's no wonder the sensors aren't working. So after 14 months, that's what they look like. All right. So maybe that's a liveaboard thing, eh? When you're just on the boat all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, we'll have a look at that. We might research at ways to maybe reduce that. Anyway, let's do it. Alright, so there's the sensors all cleaned up. That's obviously the low water sensor, mid water sensor and high water sensor. My understanding is the grey water tank empties on this one when it gets to there. Not 100% sure, we'll check that out. Anyway, that's all nice and clean. We can put it back in. Okay, back to grey water, black water. We've got the grey water all back on. That's all ready to go. Just got to put a couple of ties on here. Then the black water, we were disconnecting all of these and we found that we have a common or 2 wires, one coming off to the actual float switches and then still one going back in here, which is a bit of a shame. That's a power one, is it? Black, normally?
Yeah, it could be.
Yeah. Anyway, what we're going to do is snip it. So let's do that in front of here. You've got a witness there.
Cut it closer to the thing.
To this?
Yeah, because it's, that's it.
Okay.
You save more that way. Yeah.
There we go. That is snipped now, and we are going to, Winston's going to put a bit of solder on it once he's stripped it back, and then we'll put a connector in there. We'll get the black water tank sensors all cleaned up. Okay, righto. Not particularly pleasant down there. So some of the last of the John Deere issues that we needed to resolve were changing the belt in the starboard engine because it was the wrong belt fitted. Now we've got the right one, so that'll be fitted today. And then we've got to put a washer to pack the alternator out off the arm by about 2 or 3 millimeters. We have to replace this, if you remember, because that's been drilled out incorrectly at the back. So a brand new arm is going on there. And then the final job that has to be done is this pipe takes the hot water into the heat exchanger, has to be replaced, or we just need to spot weld it in the back here. So got the John Deere guy on board. We'll get those little jobs out of the way, and then we are Bobsy Die in the engine room. Meanwhile, out here we have his lordship continuing with his wiring.
Yep, I've connected them up. So.
Down there. Oh, yep, we've got a nice little connector on there.
Yep, just got to connect the rest of them up.
Put the last of those 2 connectors in, and we'll be able to turn the system on, and hopefully it's registering correctly now. Black water and grey water. So there's the protective cage off, and there's the belt off that was too short. Now we're just going to have to clean up all around here to get all this shredding off. And fingers crossed, that's the end of that once the new one is fitted. Okay, we've got the belt on the starboard engine now, and the engineer is happy with the alignment of it. We've got the new arm on for the alternator, and the guard back on. So that's looking good, and I'm going to just very quickly take you and show you the old one.
So you've got... Oh, hello.
Hello. Here it is here, look.
Just got that,
That is the arm
that there with that.
that was on.
There.
So that was how it was attached to the alternator through that hole. And these holes, I don't know if you can see it, I'll try and hold it as level as I can. You can see they're definitely not drilled straight through or vertical. Yeah, so that's done. We'll frame that, it'll go on the wall somewhere. Job done for the day.
Got mushrooms, haven't we?
Yep.
Oh, you've got mushrooms. We've lost control.
Well, no, but I wouldn't, to be honest. I mean, I think putting mushrooms in a burger's a bit, don't you think?
No, like a onion and mushroom, yeah, like. No, that's fine.
In your burger. Is there any reason we haven't got a full ring mushroom? You know, like a full circle?
No, that's just because that's how I do them.
It's not mushroom though, is it? It's onion, isn't it?
No, but I mean, we've got freaking. Okay, we'll put it in here.
Mark, are you called onion mushroom?
No, but I mean, oh, sorry, but I mean, we've got. When you go to the burger bar and they give you onions, you have a full ring, don't you? You don't have half bloody chopped up.
You do, when you come to my burger joint, you do.
Oh,
It's far more peaceful here with Kath and I are doing the
Then
puzzle.
the bickering old husband and wife team in the kitchen.
So the girls are still puzzling, but we think there's been a divorce in the kitchen.
The vegetable.
we're just a well-oiled team.
Yeah. Vegetables are prepared, that's as good as it gets with me, so.
So now you're reading.
Yeah.
Oh, nice
Head
team.
away.
Nice team effort.
I just decided the kitchen isn't big enough for both of us.
What about the boat?
Yeah, that could happen. That could happen.
Is the boat big enough?
That could happen.
morning, Tuesday morning. Today we're off to Chichester, leaving Lymington. A little bit of a drab overcast day, fairly fresh southwesterly wind blowing, seems to be the predominant wind around here of course. We've loaded the route up, we've got 28.9 miles, 29 miles to go. So you're going to come out into the Solent and then head east all the way along to Chichester. In Chichester we're going to shoot in there and just anchor for the night and then continue on east tomorrow. Here's the big picture. We'll map might swing around. South coast of the UK, obviously France over here, and over the next few days we're going to head round here to Dover. Forecast today, southwesterlies all day and a swell of up to 1.1 metres. Anyway, away we go, and Winston is driving. Woohoo!
Be very afraid.
He's got his coffee ready, we're out of here, let's go. Yeah, he's got something. I see anchored. Yeah, that's the tide. It looks like he's going. Now that's fascinating, people, because it looks like he's moving with the tide running through. But if you look at his out the front of the boat, he's got the anchor chain out, and he's got the black ball on the front. Look, saying, "Hey, I'm at anchor. Mark, you need to get your black ball." Yeah, guy on the boat waving to us. But yeah, it looked like he was moving, didn't it? Yeah, because he got that probably 3 knots running through there. There we go, big car carrier. Interestingly, he was crossing our bow from our port to starboard, but it was obvious he was going to make a turn fairly soon. So in the end, we turned about 30, was it 30 degrees?
30 degrees.
Yeah, to make sure that we crossed his bow, because if we went port, then he was going to be turning to starboard and you sort of just keep attacking each other. But anyway, there he goes. Pretty big boat. And fairly efficient hull by the look of it, because there's not much of a wake behind it. Alright, this is really interesting as we come along the Solent here towards going out into the channel. We've got Portsmouth off on the left and we've got Ryde over here on the Isle of Wight out there to the right. So when we drill in, you can see the radar return here, this line along here, Horse Sand Fort and No Man's Fort here, and then once you drill in a bit further you see this dotted line heading over towards the Isle of Wight. So these are forts, see it out there, another one over here, that were built in the 1880s to defend effectively Portsmouth. And then these barriers here on either side are submerged concrete blocks, which when you just think about the enormity of that for back at that time, and the idea there was to stop submarines, I didn't even know they had submarines then, and ships probably, from coming through either side, to force them to come through this gap, and then they'd come under fire potentially from either side from the forts. They never used an anger, but in 1960s the military decided to allow them to be privatised, and they've been sold. That one over there on the right is a hospitality hotel, and there is a privately owned one. So yeah, pretty fascinating really. Can't imagine the amount of work, frankly. But anyway, that is at the eastern end of the Solent.
Did you fix that?
So Winston and Kath, while Mark's away, tell us what happened.
You that's yours, Kat. Come on, from a female perspective.
Well, Mark decided that we needed to know what it was like without the stabilisers on. So he turned them off. Everything went flying.
But was he? Was
Fiona's going, don't turn them off, don't turn them off, don't turn them off. So what does Mark do? He turns them off.
Oh, there he is. There's a culprit.
What?
The stabilisers.
They're good, eh?
Now, Mark, you need to tell us what happened through your perspective.
Well, Winston made the comment that
It's all your fault.
it'd be a lot more rolly without the stabilisers. So I thought we'd demonstrate.
And then what happened?
Then there's a little bit of banging and crashing, and then there's a lot of screaming from
Mrs. Rammel.
From Sweaty.
I don't think I was screaming. I was just.
No, I mean, so there was not screaming. There was.
A few facts wrong with that story.
The point was made that it was not a good idea.
It wasn't Winston who said about it. I was trying to explain about what it was like when we were in Athens, or over in the Med, and we were limping to Athens without the stabilisers, and how awful that feels. And then Mark suddenly pipes up, "Oh, would you like to see how that feels?" And I go, no, we don't need to do that, and just completely ignored what I said and turned the bloody things off.
You don't have to start swearing.
And then all hell broke loose on
Well, because it
board.
was a bit swelly at the time, to be fair.
Yeah,
And from the beam.
yes.
Yeah, from
And
the beam.
luckily nothing was broken.
But there was a bit of banging and crashing coming from the galley.
Absolutely.
Right.
Another lesson learnt for Mark. No.
Right, there's West Pole, just at the entrance to Chichester Harbour. We'll come over here. Sorry about me wobbling a bit about. So that's the entrance in there. A couple of little with shallow bits, but we're coming in at high tide. So we've got another 3 metres on top of that. We're basically going to come into the harbour, turn off to the starboard there, and there's a couple of anchorages around here that we'll check out on the way. So this is really interesting. We're coming up towards Itchner through what is called the shipping channel, and there's a marker on either side. Now some galah party decided they wanted to run a kids yacht race right through the shipping lane. So we're coming up the middle. It's really shallow on either side. So we're just quietly puddling up there and almost found ourselves tangled up around one of their buoys that are set for changing, or one of their marks for changing direction. So anyway, we got a whole lot of tenders come up to us. We moved away from it and then hooked out to the right a bit. But it was darn shallow out there, which is a little bit of a concern. And I don't know what they're doing, having races right across what is supposed to be a shipping lane. Anyway, it was all a bit of laughing and that. They waved us on and nobody got too upset. And the weird thing is, a little later on, yachts and boats were coming the other way and they just ploughed right through the middle of them. And all the little yachts, the racing boats, went around them. I think the problem was we were approaching the turning mark, so the yachts were kind of concentrating on that area. Anyway, we learned.
So I'm now wearing the first mate hat. I know that's a bit presumptuous.
Oh, you
Mark can't say anything about it because he's done it as well.
where are your bloody shoes, Winston?
Don't need them.
Don't need them.
I'm on holiday.
You're on holiday.
God gave him
shoes.
skin, no. God gave you skin.
The best holidays is when you never wear shoes for 2 weeks.
Right.
So it
This
started
is a good
today.
holiday. Yeah.
What do you think he's doing?
So you're the captain.
Yeah.
Have you approved this?
You know by now, Winston, I don't get to approve anything Mark
No,
does.
you're the captain of the tender.
Even that, he
I set
overrides me on.
standards.
Set standards.
No. If
Very nice,
then
Marky. But
turn the battery off.
I'll turn the battery off. No, but I'm
Winston, you did say, what word did you describe it as?
anal. Slightly anal.
No, it just shows people that we care about dock tidiness.
I think they just think you'd be a tosser.
I've got a damn
I think they've
bum.
had too much time on their own.
Very cute harbour office. What is going on here?
Fiona, turn the camera off, mate.
No, come on. Honestly, you can't put them on completely. They won't fit. Right, way you go. Come on. Winston. That's what Winston would look like in high heels. Look at him. Oh, nice calves. Hey. You alright, Winston? Look at those calf muscles. That's what happens when you girls wear high heels, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just one.
Oh yeah, no problem. You can have all the profit. Hello, Lulu.
What do you want?
12-year-old golden retriever. And she's a proud mum of 9. No, 15. Proud mum of 15. Good girl. Good girl. No, good girl. You going to put my paw up? Oh, you're a good girl. Oh, there's a little bit of all
You
sorts.
go, Mark. So who are you with?
I'm with Flynn.
Flynn
or
Flynn?
Flynn? Finn.
Yep.
Hello, Finn.
And he is the harbour master dog.
He's the harbour
And this
master's
is the
dog.
harbour master.
Oh, sorry. I've got a phone call.
She's running away. And Finn's going with her.
That's right.
That's a powered barge.
What do you mean by a powered barge?
Well, it's like a boat. It's got its own motor. And it,
Good morning. It is Wednesday morning and the wind's died right down. It's a very pleasant day out there. We have an incoming tide. Here we are on the South English coast trying to head along towards Dover. Effectively along this route there is not a lot of, in fact there's none, there are no secluded anchorages. So the plan is we've built the route all the way through. We're going to assess what it's like out here once we get out there for anchoring on the channel, and then if we're not happy at any one of these jump off points here we can go into a marina. Anyway, total distance today, well it's not going to be 102 but it's 102 miles to Dover. We'll probably end up doing between 30 and 50, and as I said we have an outgoing tide. Here we are up near Chichester. And effectively our route out is going to be the reverse of the route in. Lowest point is just crossing the bar out here. We've checked the tide and it is a couple of metres above chart datum, so we've got plenty of coverage there. Anyway, we'll get the anchor in and head out.
going?
All good, yeah?
Yeah, good, thanks.
Came at the right time.
Yeah. If you didn't know that. Right, yeah, we'll do that and then we'll... Oh, okay.
So what are we doing?
I did get a parking fine in Australia once.
Oh,
And I thought,
don't pay it, mate, don't
no,
pay it.
I didn't.
Sorry, Marky.
Good morning, exciting day today. We're off to Dover. Feels like a bit of a milestone. Here we are in Newport. Bit of a drizzly, rainy day, and we're all started up, ready to go. Called up Newport Harbour to ask to depart, and they said we can't depart for 20 minutes. See the pilot boat over there? There is a tanker coming in, and the tanker comes in to refuel that ferry. So we're stuck here for 20 minutes. We've only got about 300 or 400 mil under the hull at the moment, so almost dries out here on a spring tide it would. I know it says 2.9, but it's not. And we'll just zoom back out here, show you where we're going. Here we are at Newport. Fairly big day today, 50 odd miles. Eastwards along the coast, past Folkestone to Dover. And we should get all the white cliffs of Dover along here, so it'll look pretty cool. Obviously a very busy area, got to talk to them going in, and whoop, it'll spin around. There's the English coast, there's the French coast, and there is the narrowest point of the English Channel. Alright, Winston's driving today. We'll be away in 20 minutes. So just while we wait to go, and it was Newhaven, not Newport, sorry, that we're at. I'll just zoom in here. You can see at low tide, there's the mud in the corner there. So that yacht sitting in the mud over there, and the Nord Explorer out here is just sitting in the mud as well. In fact, when this chap beside us here came in last night, he came in and he wanted to dock in behind us on our side of the pier, and he basically got stuck in the mud out here. So yeah, spring tide, we could be here, we'd have to come in and then the boat would just settle into the mud. Yeah, he's got the crane up, so they're ready to start putting bowsers over. Freakia Mari. Pretty high out of the water, isn't it?
Fuel on, eh?
No? Oh yes, he's got his fenders on the top there. He's getting ready to lift them off. The big rubber fenders. The tyres all around them. Right, sir, what do you want me to do?
We'll take the bow lines off, hey?
Okay. Alright, you
And the bow line, the centre line.
thruster on.
Yeah,
I'll get the centre one off first, eh?
yeah.
Captain Sir, the centre line is off.
Okay, and the bow line, thanks, Mark.
We slipped by with about that much to spare.
Oh, good. So we're clear now?
Yeah, we're clear, buddy. Well done. So here's the Seven Sisters, classic chalk cliffs along the south coast of England. They come from all the way back down the coast. Such a shame we haven't got a lovely blue day, but that's life. So each hump is one of the sisters, and there's a lighthouse up on the top there. You can see they had to physically move it because it was going to fall off the edge, but it was decommissioned, and then in 1902 Beachy Head Lighthouse was built, and there was a cable that was used to supply it from the top of that cliff down to the lighthouse. Yeah, definitely. So I am just beside myself with excitement, because if you have a look in here, what can't you see? Come on, everybody. You can't see our track, and you can't see our track because we have got the most amazing Garmin Autopilot in the world. It is completely under that magenta line. Now, if you remember, for the last 13-14 months, what we would have seen is just a meandering line across that track, and look at it. And that has been in 1.5 meters following quartering sea. Unbelievable. Go Garmin, I love you. What an amazing autopilot. Ha! Perfect. We just would not have seen this a month ago. So what did it need? A complete reset. Away we go. Woohoo, Garmin.